Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in, thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so. I'm exceptionally pleased about to bring you my first ever Hruodland. If I featured one, I really can't remember it. I've been meaning to get around to it for some time. I recently was talking to them. They've released, well, it's a new version of the watch. It's an F029. They've changed a little bit on the dial. It's very compact. It's a homage of more of a well-known watch from a few years back, which is why it's quite diminutive in size. Good materials used, nice dial, and one that, in terms of the watch it's homaging, you wouldn't be able to buy new now. So I don't mind these types of homages. I think watches that you can't buy, watches that are really expensive, watches that have been discontinued, that sort of stuff, I think that's where homage watches really do shine, and Hruodland may well have you covered with this watch. It's one that during the sales is always going to be a little bit better to pick up, but generally not too badly priced, in and around sort of £150, £170 roughly. Get some discount codes, coupons, all those sorts of things. Bring it down as much as you can, and if you do that, it's going to be a splendid watch. I'm leaving an affiliate link in the description, but do feel free to find whichever one's best for yourself in terms of price. But I'm going to stop going on because you want to look at the watch properly. We're going to go through all the usual stuff, help you make an informed decision. But with that being said, sit back, relax, get yourself a nice beverage, a nice brew, because it's about that time to get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. You'll see it's got some information at there. That's the model number, the F029. This is the Hruodland briefcase style. You'll have seen it before. Inside, very, very impressive with this. I like the screwdriver. I like the fact you can take this out. It's got all different attachments that you put on the end. Loving that. I'm going to keep this and put it into my sort of watch tool collection. Yeah, really cool. Warranty card. I didn't take any links off for it to fit my wrist, and I'll talk about that in a few moments. But that's everything going on there. You've seen this type of case before, but this is the watch. So this is the Hruodland F029. Inside the watch, it's running a Seiko NH38 movement. This is the no-date variant of this movement. It's nice to see that Hruodland have gone for the right movement for the watch. It hasn't got a date on it, so therefore they've gone for a no-date movement. I love that. Where it's a Seiko movement, you know it's going to be reliable. So it's 21,600 beats per hour, 24 joules, 41-hour power reserve. Yeah, what's not to like about these Seiko movements? I've said it before, they're like the AK-47 of the movements, to be honest. They just go and go. But yeah, an H38, also known as a 4R38 when in a Seiko watch. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal, is 316L stainless steel. So mixture of brushing and polishing throughout, but you've got the polished bezel, got polish at the sides of the case, polish at the sides of the bracelet. Got the case back, which has got some polished elements around the edge, but generally it's a mixture of brushing and polishing, as I said. So the bezel, crown, case back, solid end links, bracelet and clasp, all 316L stainless steel, mixture of brushing and polishing throughout. I'll also bring a couple of colours up that you can choose from. This waffle one's lovely. I do like this one, but yeah, there's a couple maybe more in keeping with your taste. The case thickness of the watch is 11.7 millimeters. The case diameter I measured from the 8 to the 2. It was coming at 36.2 millimeters. When you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it was coming at 38.4 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 16 and back up to 18 millimeters at that clasp. And the lug to lug, the tip of the watch, fortunately is a true lug to lug, given it's got a female end link to the center link. And it was coming in at 43.3 millimeters. So quite dynamic, quite diminutive in size, but I'm not disliking that. I think it's cool, more true to the sort of watches it was homaging, retro sort of style, vintage watches. So yeah, it was never going to be too big, but yeah, they're the proportions. So the bezel I mentioned a moment ago is a high polished bezel. I like the fact it's not too thick. Sometimes with these watches they're a bit thicker than they need to be. Screw down crown, sterile, polished as at the side there. And the case back, so it's screwed down. Not my favourite case backs because it's a pain in the arse to try and open, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't need to. Fortunately, the movement details I showed you was from a previous NH38, so I didn't need to open it. But yeah, if you need to, it can be a bit of a pain. Bracelet, as I mentioned, 4 mils of taper, quite nicely finished, brushing at the tops, polish at the sides, screw pins, just to make it nice and easy to size out if you wish. But I didn't need to, as I said, and I'll show you that in a minute with the clasp. The clasp, so Sterile, it's the sort of style that you've become accustomed to. You've seen this many, many times, fully milled, but that gives you, what, 1 inch of on the fly, which is in no small part why I didn't adjust it, because I could get it to fit me with that. But look at that. I'm sure due to that, you're going to get the right sort of fit for yourself. I probably could have got away with taking a link off, but I didn't need to, so I didn't. But yeah, maybe the bracelet length is a bit short still, so that may be something to think about. But yeah, that's everything going on there. The crystal covering the dial was a sapphire crystal, and not bad legibility really. The AR coating's definitely there. I've said before, I use 3 different lights to film these reviews, and it's a reflective surface, so when it's not too bad, I'm always having that. So yeah, sapphire crystal with AR coating. The water resistance, you'll make out down to the 6, is 200 meters. So that'll give you 20 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right. So all in, it's 120 grams. And like I said, I didn't take any links out. So maybe 1 or 2 links more could have been added, but 120 grams is what you're working with. But let's have a look at the dial in a bit more detail. So I'm liking the gilt they've gone for, sort of like yellowy, sort of goldy color they've used everywhere except for the black dial. You've got gold hands and stuff as well, which is nice. You've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Inside that, very, very clean in the way it looks. You've got an inverted triangle at the 12. You've got 3, 6 and 9s in numerals, then battens everywhere else. Nothing's been applied onto the dial. It's all been well printed though, so it's quite thickly printed. And I'll be hoping that that means the loom is decent, which I'll show you in a few moments time. You got Hruodland with the logo, which is an anchor, and Hruodland Adventurer. I think before they said roasted oyster or something before, and I think due to feedback they got rid of it, which I'm here for. I'm always happy when you hear brands are willing to listen and take on board what people are saying. So yeah, they've obviously listened. So yeah, Hruodland Adventurer, it says now. You got 200 M equals 660 feet down at the 6. Gold hands really do complement the sort of indices and stuff that they've printed onto the dial, as well as the logo and everything else. Mercedes style hands, good proportions on the hands. Lollipop on the 2nd, and then you got the Mercedes style, as I said, and then sword for the minute. Nice proportions, reach out to kind of exactly where you want them to. So yeah, I'm here for that in general. But you're wondering now, so you've spoke to me about the dial, you spoke to me about the hands and indices. What's the loom saying? So I'm going to bring the loom up now. The loom is good. This watch is a sort of dressy vintage style watch, but with decent loom and the fact it's got 20mm lug width and you can dress it up, dress it down. Some people may consider it to be a bit of a GADA. It's quite a sporty watch, isn't it? So, but the loom does help. The loom was decent. I wasn't sure what to expect. But it's my first Hruodland, and I'm really hoping it's not my last. If this is a sort of sign of things that they bash out, then yeah, very, very good. And like I said, the loom just goes and goes a bit more. So we're never going to complain about decent loom on a watch like this, ever. But in terms of the movement, NH38, you take the crown out. There's only one position when you pull it out. There's no date, no nothing. Put it back in, it will start back up again. Turn it away from you when it's in the position where it's unscrewed from the case. And then when you want to screw it back up, I normally twist towards me, away from me, and easy as that. That's everything going on there, guys. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly to give you an idea of what looks on my wrist. One moment, guys. Okay, so guys, this is what it looks like on my 7¼ inch wrist. I think it's a really nice looking piece. Not too big, not too small. I think it's a good size, the sort of size of watch that I would wear generally, to be honest. I don't like too big a watch. It's about halfway through the micro adjustment on there, and it fits me quite well there. So just bear in mind, guys, if you've got quite a large wrist, this may not fit. So I'm hoping Hruodland do, just as a matter of fact, just start putting an extra link on there. It might make things a bit easier. But that's what it all looks like. But as ever, what do you all make of it? Okay, so guys and girls, that would now take me swiftly on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a higher with pucker. So what I think is pants about the watch. It's very little, to be honest. I was really struggling, but I do think I need to mention the bracelet length. I've mentioned it a couple of times already, but the fact I didn't have to make any adjustment to it, taking the links out, kind of tells you a lot. So I think they probably need to put one, maybe two extra links in this watch, so it fits a lot more wrist sizes. I'm halfway through the sort of micro or on the fly adjust, so something to think about. So that's all I'm going to say for pants is the bracelet length, because I think it's a banger. What I think is pucker, a lot more, as you'd probably expect given the sort of stuff I've said about this watch. So the first thing I'm going to say is a sapphire crystal. I don't always mention sapphire crystal, but because the clarity is decent, I feel like on this watch I need to mention it. Quite pronounced crystal, but yeah, definitely got a decent amount of AR coating. As that goes hand in hand with that, I will mention crystal clarity. The clarity has been a nice surprise. I love a bit of sapphire because of the fact it's scratch resistant, but also the crystal clarity is good. The dial, I think the dial was one of the stars of the show on this. I really like the dial. I'm a bit of a sucker for a dial. I've said it many, many times. Yeah, the dial on this is beautiful. The hands, I like the fact they're gold. It goes obviously with the indices. I like the proportions on the hands though. I like the fact that they're the right sort of size. Some may think that ours is a bit short. I think it's perfect, but I do like the hands on this. The loom, I mentioned a moment ago, the loom was a big surprise. Really nice loom. I always think that when you get decent loom on the watch, it's not a diver, you're winning. Yeah. The movement, the fact that it's a movement with no date on a watch with no date is bang on. I've said recently with San Martin, they've put ghost positions on their watches, which I don't think they need to given the units they sell. The general look of the watch, it's not going to be for everybody. It's a very vintage style watch, but these watches are very unattainable now, and if you do find them, they're not going to be in very good condition. So I can see where this sort of watch fills that void for people. And the price, so I bring the price up in front of me. This is going to fluctuate, guys, because it's on the AliExpress platform. There's always sales, there's coupons and stuff, but this is the general price. Yeah, they're the things I'm going to say is the sapphire crystal, crystal clarity, dial, hands, loom, movement, general look, and the price of the watch. And that'll take me on to, would I recommend this watch? And I say it all the time, don't I? The thing is, when I review watches like this, and I've got very little for pants and so much for pucker, I feel like the recommendation sort of speaks for itself. And with this, it most certainly does. I would wholeheartedly tell you to grab one of these. If this is what Hruodland are doing, I'm really intrigued to see what other stuff they're bringing out, because this is a fantastic offering. So yeah, I definitely would. But guys and girls, as ever, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as I always say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.